This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. 3 men shot on Jones Avenue in Spanish Town. 3 men were shot and injured on Jones Avenue in Spanish Town, St. Catherine yesterday evening. The incident happened around 8:27 p.m., police sources say. The Corporate Communications Unit of the Jamaica Constabulary Force confirmed the shooting as non-fatal but said it had no further details. It's understood that 2 of the men were on the roadside and the third was returning from a shop when a motor car drove up with men aboard who fired on them. 1 man reportedly drove himself to the hospital while the other 2 were assisted. The attackers escaped. Kingston schoolgirl and a man charged with illegal possession of gun. The 15-year-old female student and a man who were arrested in connection with the seizure of a handgun in Rockford, Kingston on June 6 have been charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. The man has been identified as a 37-year-old Kevin Lewis, a security officer of Windward Road, Kingston 16. The identity of the student is being withheld, the police said in a statement yesterday. The 2 were arrested about 4:30 p.m. during a vehicular checkpoint operation that was being conducted by members of the anti-gang task force. During the operation, the driver of a Toyota Wish motorcar was signaled to stop. He complied. However, in the process, 1 male passenger ran from the vehicle and escaped. The vehicle with Lewis and the student were subsequently searched and 1 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 11 9mm rounds of ammunition was found. The weapon was reportedly found in the girl's school bag. The police say court dates are being arranged for the pair. St. Elizabeth man charged with several offenses after more than a year on the run. After more than a year on the run, 1 of 5 men who robbed a business establishment in Black River, St. Elizabeth, is to face the court. The man, who was captured in an operation in the parish on June 5, will appear in the St. Elizabeth Parish Court on June 15 to answer to charges of robbery with aggravation, illegal possession of firearm, and assault at common law. He has been identified as 34-year-old Orlando Robinson, otherwise called OP, of Brompton District in St. Elizabeth. It is alleged that in February 2021, Robinson and 4 accomplices, armed with handguns and rifles, held up and robbed persons at a business establishment of $95,000 cash, as well as alcoholic beverages and cigarettes valued at over $300,000. After his arrest, Robinson was interviewed in the presence of his attorney and later charged. Detectives continue to probe the matter. Crime hopelessness forcing Jamaicans to flee by any means necessary, says advocates. Desperate for a better way of life, some Jamaicans are willing to be part of the human smuggling trade by whatever means necessary, as they seek to flee from violent crimes, poverty, and a growing distance from the state, according to some persons who are doing missionary work in inner-city communities. Dr. Henley Morgan, who has been working in several inner-city communities for decades, but is now based in Trenchtown in South St. Andrew, said for the last 25 years, Jamaicans have been using illegal channels, including through Mexico, to enter the United States in search of a better life. He said the news of the recent distress of a woman from Waterhouse, St. Andrew, whose child has been reported missing in their quest to reach the U.S. via the Mexican border, is unfortunate, but Jamaicans have been doing it for many years. I can't say that in recent times there has been a mass movement in the number of persons fleeing via this method, but it has been going on for years. I would put it on the same level as those in the gun trade who would hitch a ride on a boat out of here, he told the news. According to Morgan, data from various studies done over the years showed that 70% of Jamaicans would leave the country if they could, noting that only Afghanistan did not appeal to them. Last week, it was reported that Teresa Wilson fled Jamaica with her 2 children, 5-year-old Melisha Miller and an 8-month-old. The 3 left Jamaica for Panama on May 25, but only Wilson and the baby entered the U.S. Jamaican and U.S. officials have been working to find Malaysia, nicknamed Million. Wilson was reported to be trying to escape poverty and crime in her community. Immigration authorities have said there has been more than a 60% surge in illicit travel between Jamaica and Mexico in 2021, with that country clamping down on locals taking the dangerous voyage. According to reports, smuggling trips cost in the region of $300,000 per person and $200,000 extra with a child. The Bahamas to Florida is also another illegal route of choice for Jamaicans, including many of criminal ilk fleeing their cronies or law enforcement. According to a senior police source, at least 6 gang leaders have fled Jamaica since the start of the year via boats that unload guns, drugs and ammunition and take human cargo for massive fees to a holding country until they reach the U.S. Some have remained in the holding countries incognito, as they are often loaded with cash to sustain them for short and medium term, the source told the news on Friday. Dr. Lucien Jones, who has been operating a clinic at an Anglican settlement in Majestic Gardens in Kingston since 1996, said many of those fleeing were not victims of human trafficking, but were voluntarily trafficking themselves. I have been told that many of them have left Jamaica and have gone to the Mexican border. That's a big thing in the ghetto, using the route through Mexico to get to the United States. So this young girl whose story we hear, it's part of the ghetto story, Jones shared. People are desperate because they don't see their way out of this country, and they have been ignored for far too long. All of us know the story that they are galvanized when election time comes, but ignored after. According to him, people are tired of being used to win elections, and many were willing to take their chances elsewhere, irrespective of the danger that lies ahead. It's part of the reason why many Jamaicans are not voting. They are opting out of the society, which they do not feel a part of, he explained, adding that it was sad that too many see themselves as badly treated foreigners in their own country. Scared PNP Council troop says he's ready to meet with the gangsters. As discussions heat up over proposed summit between gangsters and the various stakeholders, including the police, one local government representative has signaled that he is prepared to meet with gang leaders to address the escalating crime and violence in St. James. The disclosure was made by Councillor for the Granville Division in the parish, Michael Troop, during his address at the Thursday's meeting of the St. James Municipal Corporation. In Montego Bay is where crime is getting very serious. As a matter of fact, it gets me very scared, Troop admitted. St. James up to June 5 had recorded some 104 killings since the start of the year, leading the 19 geographical police divisions island-wide. Troop said he came to the municipal meeting to hear the police put forward some plans to tackle the crime monster now engulfing the city and by extension the parish. However, he lamented that the same strategies were being presented by the police every meeting. And I don't think those strategies are working, declared the People's National Party councillor, adding, however, that he was not expecting the St. James Police to spell out their strategies in the meeting. About 6 months ago, I called on the mayor of Montego Bay to arrange a summit with all the stakeholders so we can meet like this, because sometimes you want to talk some things you can't talk in public. Even if it is to meet with the gang leaders, I am prepared to do that. What is happening in St. James cannot be allowed to continue, Troop insisted. Even the baby afraid, something want to shake up. I don't know what, but something want to shift, one said. But it cannot continue like this. The criminals seem to be winning, he asserted. 2 Saturdays ago, Homer Davis, State Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister and a Member of Parliament for South St. James, called for a summit between gang leaders and the relevant authorities to find the solutions to the crime situation in St. James. Minister of Justice Delroy Chuck, in pointing out that a similar strategy was utilized in Grantspen in his northeastern St. Andrew constituency, has thrown his support behind Davis's proposal. However, National Security Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Horace Chang, along with at least one high-ranking member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, have scoffed at the suggestion, declaring for the most part that they do not negotiate with criminals. But Troop is calling for the police to support Davis's initiative to address the crime rate in St. James. I am in support of what Homer Davis is saying, because sometimes you have to compromise certain things to get certain things, the veteran councillor said. He argued that stakeholders are not using people with influence including dons who have greater influence than the police themselves. Troops said not all dons are necessarily gunmen, but they have some amount of respect in particular communities. He cited municipal councillors and MPs as dons in their respective divisions or constituencies. In response to Troops' call at the municipal meeting, acting head of the St. James Police, Superintendent Carlos Russell, assured that several new policing initiatives are coming to the parish in short order. I understand your concern, Councillor Troop, and I am also concerned with recent events, and I can assure you that you will see some difference as it relates to our policing, Russell stated. He added that I've already met with my team and we have discussed some strategies, and you will see some differences. We continue our anti-gang efforts. As you know, we have been having some issues as it relates to gang activities in the Mount Salem area, so we are continuing those efforts, Russell explained. Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson on Tuesday indicated that the JCF has boosted its quick response team in St. James, and the plans are well advanced to establish quick response teams in other parishes out west. There are 60 members completing advanced training ahead of being deployed to Area 1, stated Anderson. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.